Hello guys, today we will do this room Padelify. This is bypassing WAF, that is web application firewall. Okay, so let's start. I have already started my attack box. Okay, so let's begin with a nmap scan as we always do. SC44 script is V for version enumeration, reason, and then IP address, that is 10.4.9.1. What was it? 166.144. 166.144. Let's see which ports are open and what services are running on those ports. Okay, as we can see, there are two ports open, that is port 22 for SSH and port 80, that is Apache server is running there. And we can see the title Padelify tournament registration. Okay, so let's visit that website. Let's go to http 10.4.9.1.66144. Okay, so let's zoom in. Okay, so this is our registration page, right? And okay, let's take a look at the page source code. Form action, it's going to register.php file. It is a post request being sent, I think. Where is it? Yeah, method is post. Okay, nothing very interesting here. Okay, so let's go back to that registration page. And also there is also a login here, so we can log in after registration is done. Okay, let's try to log in with the default credentials like admin. Let's see what's happening. Okay, never save, invalid username or password. Okay, now our challenge says, what is the flag value after logging in as moderator? So our first target is to log in as moderator, right? Okay, so let's see what can we do. Let's try to do a basic registration like with dummy credentials. Let's say username is username, password is test, and keep this default value, and let's submit registration. Registration submitted. A moderator will review your request. Okay, so the moderator will review our request, like, so this makes me think there is a possible, we can possibly steal the moderator's cookie if there is any XSS cross-site scripting, right? Okay, so let's go to our terminal, and first let's try to enumerate if there are any hidden directories. Okay, let's do that with GoBuster directory mode 10.4.9.1.66144. Is that correct? Yeah. And word list. Why is it hanging? What? Word list .b big.txt, and we will also look for any extension like PHP, JavaScript, etc. Python or basic text. Okay, so this is interesting. When we try to enumerate the hidden directories using GoBuster, we see error. The server returns a status code that matches the provided option for no non-existing URL. To continue, please exclude the status code or length. So the thing happening here is we can already guess there is a firewall working on that web page, right? What that firewall is doing, it's restricting any request that comes from any headless browser. Like, we are using GoBuster here and it's sending request, but it's not coming from any browser like a normal user will do. And I think that that firewall is preventing this type of request. So what can we do? We can easily just add any user agent, so it will mimic any browser, any request from any browser. Okay, to do that we can just add another flag I forgot what that flag is. Okay, yeah, dash a. This is for, I guess this is for agent, and we can specify the agent we want. I'm just going to copy this thing and paste it here. And now let's see what happens. And now it's working. Okay, so I hope you guys understood what was happening. The firewall was preventing any request that's not coming from any browser. Okay, let's see what we see. Status.php, register.php. We already have seen that register.php file. There is login.php. That is the login page we are seeing. There is also live.php. Let's see what this is about. Okay, live feed. Let's take a look at the page source code. Nothing very interesting here. Let's go back to our go buster result. Logs. Let's check what this logs is. Okay, there is error.log and there are some logs. Now there is one line very interested here. This line here. Failed to parse admin info in var html config app.conf. So the admin info, we can understand the admin info is in this folder var html. So we are currently in this place inside var html, as we always do in any web application of Apache, right? So if we can somehow access the config /app.conf file, we might get the admin info in the credential maybe. So just keep that in mind. We might need that later. Okay. Okay, let's see what other files do we get. Logs, logout php, match.php. Let's see what is this match.php. Okay, it's not found. Oh, I did a mistake. I did logs match.php. The next match starts soon. Stay tuned for player announcement and scores. Okay, also nothing so interesting here. Anything else? Register.php, server status, status.php. Status.php is for I think resetting any restart all services. Yeah. As you can see here, in case you want to start over or restart all service, visit this. Okay, we don't need that right now. Okay, there is nothing else we should be interested about. Let's go back to our registration page. Okay, so right now our goal is to find a way to exploit a cross-site scripting to steal the moderator's cookie. Okay, so we will send a payload to steal that cookie. So if I do a basic payload like as I always do, let's do script fetch. Okay, first run a Python server on our machine so we can receive that cookie. One, two, three, four. Now that our server name, let's fetch our URL, that is HTTP, our IP 1049.126.174. 126.174. Port is 1234. We'll call this cookie and then document.cookie. And then close this script. Okay, password should be test. Okay, let's submit and let's so the firewall is preventing us from sending any payload, any malicious payload. Access has been blocked where application firewall is active. Okay, so you can play with this which part of the payload is causing the error. You can find out that. I think here the reason was that fetch command. If we send anything except that fetch, let's send this. Will it trigger that firewall? Let's see. No, it did not. So the problem was that fetch part, right? So now you can play around with the payload. I have already tried many payloads. I have also did that eval atob thing. And finally, there are two payloads that worked for me. You can play with this. You can find out which works for you. That will be great if you try yourself. But I'm not um, wasting my time on doing things I have already done. So I'm just showing you what worked for me. Okay. So these are two payload. You can see I have tried many of these before when I was doing that room. But the thing that worked for me is this one. I'll explain how it worked. You know what I just did. I was doing a fetch, right? A basic fetch. But fetch was being blocked by the firewall. What if we can do a eval? A eval will allow us to do concatenation. Like we can split that whole string of fetch, the whole command, and then do plus sign between them. I think the firewall is matching the string. Like if we type fetch, it will trigger that. Okay, not just fetch. Let's do script, and inside that script there is fetch. Okay, like this. Submit. Okay, it worked. But what if we do this? You should play like this to find out which part is causing the trigger. Okay, that way you can understand what part you have to find any alternative. Okay, let's do like this. Let's see if this will cause the trigger. Okay, password test. Yeah, so that was the pattern that our firewall was blocking, right? So what we can do, we can just split that whole thing, like fetch our IP port and then document cookie, everything. We will put that same thing, but with eval we can do concatenation. So we can split that whole string. In that way, the firewall will not be able to match the pattern. Like you will think it is FET plus age. It will not say like fetch a single word. So this is a way you can bypass the firewall. There is another script that worked for me. That is a new image thing. And inside, instead of doing document.cookie, which we usually do, you can do it like this document, then the angle bracket, and then inside that just do a concatenation, like concate, I think it's pronounced. I'm sorry. Cookie. You can split that up, and it will also work. I'm using first one right now. You can use both. I will upload both of these in my GitHub. Let's try this. Okay, before doing that, we have to change our IP, because when I was doing this, my IP was different. 1049.126.174. 126.174. Port is 1234. That is okay. Okay, let's try this one, the first one. Is our server still running? Yeah, it is. Let's do test. Let's see what do we get, if we get any cookie. Yeah, as you can see, we receive their cookie, the moderator's cookie. Okay, so from here we can just simply copy his cookie. Guys, this payload will also work. You can try with this one, or if you can play around and find any other payload that work for you, that way you will learn how to bypass it yourself. Okay, and one thing that if you did not know before, like when I was doing, I did not know I can use eval like this. I've been always using fetch inside script, but if you use eval, then you can split that thing up, and it is a technique to bypass any firewall. So these are things you will understand and learn if you try to do it yourself. Okay. Okay, so now I will just copy the moderator's cookie. Copy it and paste it in our cookie. Inspect storage, PHP session ID, delete our cookie, paste the moderator's cookie, and then refresh. And as you can see, we are logged in as moderator. And let's say, yeah. So now there are some other things that we can see. These pending request, you can see status pending. Pending, not request, it is pending registration. These are when I was doing the first dummy thing, like the cross-site scripting payload. You can see our first attempt is here, username and single amateur pending. Okay, you can approve this, reject this, delete this, and you can also see where these requests are going. But one thing that is very interesting here, that is this part, change password. Okay, let's change our password. So in case we are logged out, we can just easily log in instead of doing that whole cookie stealing thing. Okay, I always love to do this because there happened many times I was logged out or my machine just broke and I have to do that same thing again. Okay, so change the password. Let's change our password to password. Easy. Okay, let's also see what's happening in the network tab. Okay, network, reload, and our new password is password. Let's update, and we can see that request is here. It's going to dashboard.php. Also, it was successful. It says password updated successfully. It was a post request, and our PHP session ID was sent, cookie was sent. Inside request, you can see action is change password, and new password is the password that we just set. Okay, that's interesting. From seeing this thing, one thing that should come into your mind: can we force the admin to change his password? Like, if there was a way, we can again send a cross-site scripting payload, and our admin would load that HTML thing, JavaScript code in his browser. Maybe we could force him to make him to change his password without even stealing his cookie. This is another thing. We have already did that in other rooms. I'm just saying, I don't think here we have any page where we can send payload to that admin. Okay, so now what to do? Okay, as you guys remember, when I was seeing that logs, let me show you again. Let's go to logs. Error.log, and there is this line, right? Fail to parse admin info in this config/app.conf. So what if we can go to that page and read that file? Okay, let's try to do that. Let's try to go to config and app.conf, conf, and forbidden. Okay, so we don't have access to that page, right? But our main goal is to bypass that firewall. So let's see what can we do. What if, okay, there is another thing, this live thing, right? So what happens when we tap this live thing? Let me minimize this thing so you can see. Okay, this live thing has a look at here, right, where it is going. It is going to live.php, and there is a, okay, let's go to live. I'll show you. Okay, let's go to live.php first. This is that live.php. Let's take a look at source code. Okay, now let's go back to that page. Okay, let's you know what, we will use barb here. That will be easy for us. I have already added that proxy thing, so I don't waste your time. Let's go to proxy, intercept on, and here let's go to barb, and we will try to go to this live page, live.php. Let's see what happens. And we get that request. It is a get request to live.php. But here is that interesting part. That page parameter is taking another file name and it's going to that file. Okay, so it kinds it's like what is that? SSRF, server side request for J? No, it's not server side request for. It's like LFI, like local file inclusion. It's not request for J. My bad. Sorry guys. It's like LFI. We can change this match.php. Let's change this match.php and let's try to load another file. Let's see if that works. Okay. So let's try to go to some file that we already know we have access to, like that log file. Let's do logs and then error.log, because we have already read that file. We have access to that file. That we can understand if that works. Okay, let's do this and let's forward that. You know what, let's just do first intercept the response. Okay, and forward, wait for the response, and the response is 200. So this work. Okay, and let's forward that, and as you can see, we successfully accessed that file. Okay, so that gives us another idea. We cannot directly access this file config/app.conf, but what if we access that file via this match.php, sorry, live.php and that page parameter. Okay, let's try to do that. Let's try to go to that live live.php again. Okay, but this time we will change that file to config/app.conf, and let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, let's intercept that first. You know what, let's just send it to repeater and then send it. Let's see what that response was, and it is 403 forbidden. So we hit that firewall again. Okay, so what can we do now? Maybe the firewall is still doing a pattern matching, like it's seeing app.conf and it's blocking us. Okay, let's try to change this thing. Let's try to do config/app, just this part. Okay, let's see what happens. It's 200. Okay, now let's put our dot and then send it. 200. Okay, great. Now let's do con, just this part. 200, but when we do f, forbidden. Okay, so the firewall is matching this part, app.conf. I think so. Let's try to erase this whole thing, app.conf, and let's just access config file. Okay, let's send this, and 200. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that firewall is blocking that part only. So how can we access that file without sending app.conf? One thing we can do is we can just URL encode this part. Right, if we URL encode this part, this dot part will be gone. It will be replaced with, I don't know, percentage 20, I think. Okay, let's do that. Let's copy this. Let's go to CyberChef. Am I recording? Yeah, it is recording. And let's try to let's try to URL encode this and encode all characters. Yeah, it will be 2%2e. Okay, so this might replace that dot, and this will replace that dot, and then the firewall will not be able to match this pattern, hopefully. Okay, so let's see. Let's copy this. Let's change our page parameter value to what we just got. This. Okay, let's see if what status code we get. Okay, let's send this, and we get a 200. So we bypassed the firewall. Now let's see what content do we get. Okay, we have that content. You can see inside bar. I could have also sent this through my browser, and we can see better, but let's just see what. Yeah, you can see there is an admin info thing. Okay, let's just send it through my browser so you guys can see it better. Let's do that whole thing again. Live. Oh no, sorry. Intercept on, now live. Now change our page parameter to that URL encoded part, and then forward. And you guys can see here. Let me zoom. Can I zoom in? No, I cannot. Okay, admin info. This is the admin info. So you can guess this is the password for admin. Let's copy that, and let's first log out. Okay, turn that intercept off now. Log out, and then just log in with admin password. Username will be admin, and password will be what we just got. Let's try to log in, and yeah, we get that admin flag also. Here you can see welcome admin. So yeah, we got both flags. The purpose of this room was to bypass the firewall. How did we bypass the first moderator part? We stole his cookie, but we had to change the payload. Okay, we used eval to split up that fetch part, and now for admin we accessed that file using LFI, and when that LFI was still being blocked, we used URL encoding. So that was it. You guys can do it yourself and try to play with the payload. How can you bypass that firewall? Use different payloads, see what works. And another thing, what I did, when a payload is not working for you, just try to erase some part that you think is causing the trigger. Erase that part and send it again. Let's see, does it still trigger the firewall? Then if it is, then try to erase another part. So you can pinpoint which part is exactly causing that trigger. And now your task is just to find an alternative to do the exact same thing, but without this malicious input. Okay, that way you can find your payload Okay, so that was it. It was a easy room and did not take much. Thank you guys.